And
Nobody heard you.
oh, are you serious?
So go ahead, redo the intro.
Okay.
Technical difficulties, episode 1. We're learning.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
Thanks everyone for tuning in. Welcome to the podcast. Talking with the Angels, episode 1. We're just going to talk about today about maybe ways to go about changing things in the community, changing your world, the way we've changed our world, and kind of put that out there. Maybe do some spiritual talk
Okay.
about just spirituality. I'm not really religious, so we won't take no jabs at religion just yet.
None at all?
Maybe a few, but
Okay.
not many. I think it's kind of like a motorcycle game. You got the 1%ers who are outlaws, and they really go for the cause. And then you got the 98% or the rest of the
99%.
Well, yeah, but they call them 98. It's the term.
I get it.
You see what I'm saying? And those people go to their everyday jobs, and they just come and ride the bikes on the weekends. So religion's more of those, the 98%. I sometimes gather is my feelings. But we're not going to get into all that. We'll just get into maybe why we do what we do for the ministry, why we feed people, why we help people.
Okay.
Some of that type of stuff.
How did it start?
It started
just for some background knowledge in case they don't know.
Well, I had some legal issues, and I was on the run.
Got you.
And so during that time, I had got into an argument, let's say, with God. I was homeless. I was in a tent. I had my 10-year-old son. And a tornado was coming. We was in Florida. And a buddy of mine.
Tornado or hurricane?
No, it was actual tornado. Tornado warnings. I know it sounds crazy in Florida.
That's fair.
But a buddy of mine was down there. He lives down there. And he, shout out Randy Hudson. He got me and my son a room. And the 2 days was up that he rented for us. And the weather was nice. And my son was scared. Nate, Nasty
Nate.
Was scared. And so I went in the bathroom and I kind of cursed God. And I just told him, look, I ain't never asked you for shit. Like, if you're real, I need you. And a few minutes later, miracles started happening, like actual miracles. Like people pulling up gave me $700. Another ladies bought me bus tickets. My taxes hit all within like 20 minutes. And all of them come bearing fruit and water. Like all of them have fruit and water. And it was like something out of a movie. So from that point on, I just started like studying and learning. And I never believed in the Bible. I always thought it was like a fairy tale. You got 2 of this on 2 of every insect on the boat. You know what I mean? And so, like in my,
did it just seem too far fetched?
Well, not necessarily that. And now I believe the stories quite possibly could all be true. Because I believe anything's possible. But at first, as a non-believer, as somebody who wasn't brought up in church and who has seen so much bad stuff in their life.
Happy birthday, Alex.
Happy birthday. Thank you for joining us. Just such a bad, I had a bad life growing up. Not necessarily a bad life, but everybody wish Alex a happy birthday. But a tough life. It was a rough life. So anyway, back to the story in Florida or whatever. We get back to West Virginia, and I end up in a homeless mission in Huntington after a long bunch of crazy stuff happened. We'll get into that somewhere down the road. And I met my wife, and me and her got together in the mission. And while I was there, I noticed people would come by, and it was during COVID. So like we couldn't go nowhere. And they don't feed you a lot, don't do a lot. But people would come by and just drop stuff off, like meals. They'd have meals made up and give them out to people. And I remember how good that made me feel. Yeah. So it made me feel like there was good people out there. People that still cared. There was a reason to do good stuff. So me and my wife and the kids started feeding people and started helping people. The lady I lived beside, she ran a little ministry. Hope Ministries. Shout out to Hope Ministries in Huntington, West Virginia, and they were doing it. But I wanted to do more. Like I felt like there could be more, and they wanted to do like a Bible study thing and feed people. And I'm cool with that. Like I'm really whatever it takes.
We attended some.
I attended them. I liked them. I enjoyed them. It was a part of my spiritual journey.
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't feel like a Bible study should be necessary to get a meal.
To eat.
Right. And I don't necessarily know if that's the way they felt, but that's the vibe I got. Like,
is it kind of like, there's unconditional love, there's conditional love? Was that like a form of maybe conditional love?
Yeah.
Like maybe I'll feed you if you
well,
come here.
Look, and I don't do nothing with conditions. Like, I just don't believe. I believe the devil has conditions. Mm-hmm. I don't make deals. Like, I'm not for sale. If your love comes with conditions or your kindness, or if I got to hear about it later, I don't want it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I just don't want it. And that's why, doing this, raising the money or whatever, and feeding people. I've had people say, well, there's no videos of you handing out the food. And I'm like, look, what do I look like taking pictures of these people who's down on their luck?
I'm glad you brought that up.
Yeah.
Because, like, in hearing that, in anything you do, you got to have consent.
Right.
So
right.
I'm not doing it like, and you're not doing it for publicity. It's not like.
Well, I could ask the people because at one point when I was in West Virginia doing it, there was so many groups on the internet, and people would talk trash. Like, and I probably pissed a couple people off because they would make comments about like the homeless digging in the dumpsters. I'm like, put locks on them. And they're making comments, about these people being dirty and out here and this and that. I'm like, they got mental health issues. They need help. They don't need to be ridiculed.
Have you ever been down on your luck?
They don't need.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, they don't need to be ridiculed, and they don't need nobody taking pictures of them. But at one point, like I was in Kentucky, Lexington or Louisville. It was Louisville.
Okay.
And the people there that we was feeding wanted to, like, they were, like, let's all take pictures, and so we did. But normally I don't partake in that. I just don't like. I wouldn't have wanted somebody doing that to me.
What's up, Nasty? We was just talking about you.
Hey, bud. What's up?
In your tent days.
Yeah, we was talking about you in the tent. Look, it was funny. Nasty looked at me. He said, Dad, I don't never want to go camping again. I said, buddy, this ain't camping. This is homeless. It's different. It's right there. Camping's fun.
Camping's fun.
They almost got me ate by a gator.
Tell us the story. Hit us with the gator story.
So we was really bad on our look. We stole a tent out of Walmart. I went and I stole a tent out of Walmart. And stole some steaks and a grill. I stole kind of the whole shopping cart full of shit. Right. Just walked out with it. And was like, Nate, we'll be all right. So we found this like abandoned animal shelter down there in Jacksonville. And it had running water. So it had like a water hose out. So we was pretty cool. You know what I mean? We're camping behind it and there's this lake behind it. So I went and I had a little bit of money. I went and bought like a rotisserie chicken. We was eating it. And Nate throws the chicken carcass over the hillside right behind the tent. And so it's like 2 a.m. I hear something chomping around and gargling and growling and like, what is that? And then I hear like chomp, chomp. Like you could tell it was like jaws crashing. So I wake Nate up. I'm like, Nate, there's a gator outside. He freaked out.
Was it a gator or a crocodile?
I'm not for sure. I'm not up to date on my reptilianology or whatever. You know what I'm saying? But I know it was kind of crazy.
Did it just leave though?
No, I think we left. I think we got up and I think we laid there the rest of the night, kind of on the other side of the tent. And then the next morning we ended up was when the tornado. We ended up the next day. That next evening is when my buddy got us a room, and it was crazy because me and Randy, we had never really we had been friends and we had hung out a few times or whatever. But it was out of nowhere. He was the least likely person that I thought, you know what I mean? I didn't expect him. And he come out of pocket and rented us a room for 2 nights. And just at that point, it was like, that's where I had to be to have that conversation with God. Like I had to be in that room and I had to be forced to be getting ready to have to go back out there. And I can just remember Nate knocking on the door, like, Dad, are you okay in there? And I'm bawling, cussing God. I mean, I'm cussing and wiping my tears, and I come out and I just look at Nate. I'm like, look, God's got us. And I didn't know how. And like, I didn't really know for sure, but I knew I had to tell him. Like, I had to believe it because he was scared. You know what I'm saying? And if I was scared and he could see I was scared, it's going to make him even more scared. So I believed it wholeheartedly. And like I'm telling you, 20 minutes later, this guy pulls up. He's like, "Are you guys displaced? Are y'all homeless?" I'm like, "Yeah, man, we're the homeless shelters won't take us, blah, blah, blah." He's like, "Here's $20. Wait right here. I'll be right back. Here's some water. Here's these oranges." And he goes to the ATM and comes back and gives me, it was like almost, I think it was like 500 and some dollars, almost $600 cash right then. So I'm like, we're going back to the motel. And as we're on our way back to the motel, I had called CPS or DCFS, whatever you want to call it, to try to get help for me and Nate. And the lady called back and was like, "Hey, are you still in the streets with that kid?" And I'm like, actually, I just got $600. I'm about to get a room. She's like, "It doesn't matter. We're gonna have to come and remove you." And so I'm arguing with her, and this other lady pulls up and is like, "Are y'all homeless?" And I said, "Yeah." And she's like, "Me and my husband got a garage apartment. We'll put y'all up in. Just wait right here at the bank, and we'll be right back. I'm gonna go get him. I'll be right back." So I go to turn to walk in the bank, and I'm still arguing on the phone with the CPS lady. And these three women come out the bank with all this fruit and water, just like the dude before did. And it's like, "Is there anywhere you can go?" And I'm like, "West Virginia, that's where I'm from." I said, "If I can get back there, I could camp in a tent. You know what I mean, in the woods. Like, we'll be safe there. Like, if I could just get back there." And they was like, "We'll buy you tickets." They buy us tickets, so we go to the train station. I give my tent away to another homeless dude. You know what I'm saying? Give all my stuff away. And we get on the train or the bus, and as soon as we get on the bus, 10 minutes later, my taxes hit in my bank account. So, I mean, that was God working. Obviously, it was a miracle.
Came out of left field.
Uh, yeah, and at the time, you was incarcerated.
I was in my own version of
Yeah, so I had just lost my home here. My son um, was homeless in a new city I'd never been to before. I just moved there, ran there, if that's what you want to call it. I don't know if I'm even should be talking about this because this is an ongoing pending, but it'll be all right. I'm brutally honest, even with the judge, so it'll be all right. But it was a crazy time. It got crazier from that point on. Because West Virginia, as you know, there's a lot of people that are struggling and suffering. It's got the OD capital of the world.
Yeah.
And it wasn't the place I left. The place I left wasn't the OD capital of the world. It wasn't.
It was home.
It wasn't a bunch of people. Like, there was so many displaced people there. And so to see my home like that, it broke my heart. Like, it really broke my heart. And it made me want to get on the internet and talk trash to people. And it made me want to talk trash to just to everybody because, like, growing up, I ain't gonna lie, I sold drugs.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now you got all these drug dealers. They're working with the police, and the police are probably the ones bringing the damn drugs in. Like, just to be honest, I mean, and so I was so disgusted with the way my home had become, and so I went through a lot there. I went through a lot, and I was still in active use of. I was using. You know what I mean? So another thing, people think, well, God won't come to you if you're, if you're on drugs or if you're not clear head. That's crazy because he smacked me until I got right. You know what I mean? He literally has guided me step by step. There'd be things people would tell me, and I'd be like, I ain't listening to them. What the hell they know? And a year later, God would put that same message in front of me, and I would have no option but to course correct.
Yeah.
So, and it got to be, I remember a conversation when I was going through all this with you, and you was like, You was like, well, what do you want? And I said, well, I want to change the world. And you spoke up and you was like, well, Dad, I don't know if we can go doing all that. I don't think we can change the world, but we might be able to do something for a legacy for our family. And I said, yeah, legacy for our family is great. That's wonderful. But that's not what I want to do. I want to change the world. And I kind of got away from it for like a year or so, uh, because when I presented it to you, you come back at me with this, like, I don't know if that can be done type attitude. You know what I mean? Or maybe that's too big of a job for us type attitude. And then I talked to Isaac.
Okay.
And Isaac was like, look, there's 8 billion people on the planet. I was like, yeah, wouldn't it be great to reach all of them and help them heal? And he was like, yeah, it would. And so I started thinking about it more, and I thought about it. And it was like, how do you really do that? And I thought about, it's going to sound corny, but Michael Jackson, the Man in the Mirror song.
Mm-hmm.
And I just thought about, like, if you change yourself, uh, and change how you think, like, that's the hardest part, is changing how you think. Uh, because even for, like, instance, a relationship, you're in a relationship, your girl don't answer the phone. You're like, oh, this is cheating. You know what I'm saying? Right off the rip.
She's cheating. She's not.
Right,
She don't have
whatever,
time for me. She's too
whatever the
busy.
case, and it goes
Whatever.
both ways. It goes female or
Yes.
that your insecurities come into play,
Mhm.
or past trauma from past relationships come into play, and you automatically assume the worst
Every time.
every time. Okay, so you got to be able to train yourself instantly to recognize that those thoughts aren't your thoughts. Those are past traumas. So, like, here's a little trick that I do. When I hear that voice, I ask it who the fuck it's talking to.
Okay.
Right off the rip. I'm like, who the fuck are you talking to? And, and instantly it puts that voice in check. Instantly. That voice is your ego. And and you gotta let go of that. Or not let go of it, because it's a very powerful tool. The ego is a very powerful tool to be used, but at the same time you gotta keep it in check. And so the spiritual journey is it's been rough. It's not easy. It's not for everybody. Like, I believe everybody's going to have to go through it eventually,
Okay.
in this life or the next, one way or another. I believe there's levels to it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And so I'm not trying to do this again, if that makes any sense.
Okay. So you're not trying to
I'm not
live
trying
the
to
same
the
way.
same way, the same life, the same.
Go through
I don't want to learn the
same-
same lessons no more.
Okay.
Because if you notice in life, things will happen to you, and you'll get like deja vu.
Yep.
And you'll think, well, this has done happened before. And then you handled it the same way you handled it
The last time.
the last time. And then next thing you know, year later, 5 years later, the same thing happens again. And I've seen it in every relationship, every job, like, I see it all day, every day. Like, look, this is you got to handle this differently this time around. And once you do, those situations stop happening. Those situations go away.
So you brought up the start. The start of changing the world starts with yourself. What do you think the next step is?
Well, it's crazy. I was listening the other day. I was listening to your podcast,
Okay.
and you had Santana on, Mike Santana.
Yes, sir.
And he was talking about how he couldn't look at himself in the mirror. He had to brush his teeth in the shower because of addiction. And I've never been to that point, because I love the way I look. And I love me. I'm a fan of me. Always have been a fan of me. I'll always be a fan of me. Some say it's conceited. I say it's confident.
You're a little conceited, but it's okay.
But when he said that, I started thinking. And then it was kind of crazy, because this is like another way God communicates. So later in the day, I'm listening to PBD podcast. It had Charleston White on it. And
Okay.
he's an internet guy who as we know, can say that most outlandish stuff ever.
Mhm.
Like he'll say some crazy stuff. But
It's probably why you're a fan.
well, I don't know if I'm necessarily a fan, and I don't agree with
Everything.
most of what, but
okay.
but I do respect the fact that the the spirit puts it on him to say these things. Um, Whether good or bad, I don't believe in good and bad. I believe that
it's gray.
Well, I believe that everything is good and bad is a one line. So you got good here, you got bad here. It's always, it's all like bad is just a lower percentage of good. It's all on the same spectrum. You see what I'm saying? So who am I to judge what this man says? I can either agree or not agree, but I respect the fact that he's got the intestinal fortitude to get out here and say this crap. You know what I mean? No matter what the hate he gets, no matter what he says it. And he was talking about people wanting to change the world. And I said, well, that's crazy, because that goes back to what, and we were discussing what we was going to have the first episode be about, all at the same time. Yeah. This was all going on. And he started talking about how to change. And I thought about it, and I was like, you know what? That's what I've done. And what he said was, you got to get up every morning, you got to look in the mirror, and then you got to come out in your household, and you got to see like, oh man, the trash ain't taken out, and the dishes aren't done, and this ain't done. And you start doing a couple of those things. And then if you got kids or a wife or whoever, they're going to join in and help you. And if not, you're going to tell them to. You know, you know what I mean? You're going to direct them to, but everything falls in place. And then once your home's in order like that, and you got your health in order, and you're taking care of yourself, and you're on point, then you can go out and you see your neighbors and they're smiling, and you smile and you wave and you converse with them, and you know, converse with them and have communion with them. And then at that point, then you move on and help the community. Now, I did it totally backwards. I was still in active addiction, and I was running around hustling and feeding people, and it was like the junkie helping the junkie, the blind leading the blind. But once I started putting those other pieces in play, my life has come together. Yeah, I just did it hard-headedly. I wrestle with God every day. The word Israelite actually means those who wrestle with God. I don't believe the 12 tribes of Israel. I don't believe they are nationality. I believe it is certain people who wrestle with God on a daily basis. And so me and him argue a lot. Or it. Okay. However you want to call it. We could use the improper pronouns. I don't know if it's a him or her. Or
we don't want to assume
it could be a little both.
Okay. Do you think the struggles and the arguments you have with God or him, her, it strengthen your relationship?
Oh yeah, because when it was crazy, you was incarcerated, and you was coming into your spirituality, and I was out here and I was coming into mine, and God didn't come at me through the Bible. I did go and went through a church thing and all that. God come at me through the Dead Sea Scrolls, like the Book of Enoch, the Gospel of Thomas, which I'll go on record as saying the Gospel of Thomas is just 100 and some sayings of Yeshua, because there was no Jesus.
Okay.
There was never a man named Jesus ever once, ever.
It definitely wasn't white.
Yeshua was his name. And whether he was crucified and resurrected, I don't believe none of that matters. Everybody says you got to believe in this. I don't believe none of that. I don't believe if you call him Mohammed or Buddha, Thoth, whatever you want to, Shiva, whatever they, you know what I'm saying? Whatever you want to call the spirit, it is one spirit. And we are all part of one consciousness. We are all tied into one consciousness. And that's a God consciousness. And that's why you hear the voice in your head.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. It's got to come from somewhere.
Yeah. Most people hear the voice in their head. I talk to man. Uh, but I believe I forgot the question already.
I forgot too. You was going on your tirade.
Yeah,
I'm sure will happen a lot.
Yeah, it will.
Before you carry on, I guess since we forgot the time, I want to jump back. You said earlier we was talking about the Santana interview I did.
Yeah.
And I don't know if I've shared this before, but I mean, you're obviously full of stuff. You like to look in the mirror.
Yeah.
Just to go back on that, I had a time where it was tough to look in the mirror,
well, okay, you saying that right? The tough time looking in the mirror. I know I just said that
you haven't,
but that's a lie. You know what I mean? If I want to be real honest with myself, there was probably times I avoided looking in the mirror.
Well, and that's what I was.
It wasn't that I hated it,
that I
or I didn't do it, but subconsciously
I just didn't do it.
Right. I didn't take care of myself. I can remember a time when I went through a real rough breakup. I laid in bed for months, and it took you at 14, 15 years old.
I was like 16
or 16,
17,
coming in there and being like, "What the hell's wrong with you? Get up, you bitch!"
Yeah,
and and to get me up, and so like I've been there. You know what I mean? I've been there. When was your time?
So, for those who don't know, a couple years ago, my lovely fiance and me we took a break, and it came out of nowhere, left field. Like it didn't.
And that being said, there was probably a lot to do with family.
There was a lot
going on, a whole lot,
and a lot of it I think had to do with me trying to pay attention to too many things at once. Me trying to
please everyone,
which I try to do today. It doesn't always work. And at that time, I was trying to plan a wedding. And I was trying to make sure everything was okay, and I was neglecting her.
Yeah.
Amongst other things, and that happened, and it came out of nowhere. I remember calling you the night it happened, and I was in the mirror crying, like bawling. Like, I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't understand. I don't know what I did. And eventually it just clicked. All these me's and all these I's was just like, Justin, like, what do you sound petty, and you sound like you want pity, and you want people to feel sorry for you, because maybe I felt sorry for myself.
Oh.
And you kept telling me every night, just pray on it. Pray on it. Pray on it. Don't give up. Pray on it. And eventually, I got to the point where I had confidence in myself, where I don't know if I ever really truly had confidence in myself. Like, I always had a cockiness about me, but I think it was a front.
It was yeah.
I was projecting.
Yes.
Like, I felt like, if you want me to be honest, I felt like people needed me. Like, I had people that lived with me. I had brothers. I had you at points.
And I was a lot to deal with.
I was just like, let's put on. I think I've said a lot. Put on a mask. This is my daily smile, happy-go-lucky. Because I mean, you have said it before, maybe not on here, but like, I was a happy kid, happy person. And then there was a point where I just got.
Oh yeah, it was bad. We was fighting in there.
Fighting all the time, and I don't think I ever let that go until after me and her split up, and it was like, hey, Justin, you got to find yourself.
Yep.
The only way she's gonna come back is if you find yourself. If you don't do it sooner or later, some other handsome young fellow's gonna jump in there and take it from you.
You know what I found is if you don't love something, you lose it.
Yes.
So I'm very always first thing I do every morning is I thank God for waking me up first off, and I thank Him for everything, even the bad. Like, because without all the bullshit, I wouldn't be who I am.
It makes you who you are.
It made me tough. It made me strong. I put the world on my shoulder. Like, I'm not scared of nothing, nobody. I'm not. And it used to be different. It used to be like I had something to lose. And now I feel like I don't. And I'm not scared. Like most people might not know, but I died. I was in a car wreck. I died. got titanium mesh in my head. I was in a coma, level 5 concussion. They didn't think I'd make it, and I did. Rose from the dead, uh, and so I'm not scared of death either, because it's going to be pleasant. I'm already well aware. Uh, I kind of experienced it a little bit, so I'm not scared of that either. I just feel like there's a lot that if people just started on themselves, like if we all just started working on ourselves, we could all heal together. Because it's not, it shouldn't be from a judgmental place. It shouldn't be somebody else telling you this is what's wrong with you, this is what you need to fix. Because the spirit's gonna do that all on its own. Like I didn't need nobody telling me nothing. But God told me. God made it real clear. And I'm stubborn. Like I'm a hard,
Oh, we know.
very, very stubborn person.
So, are you still stubborn with him?
Oh yeah. And I believe he likes it.
Okay.
I believe God wants somebody. It's a checks and balance system. You know what I mean? Um, I believe most people can. You know, they always tell you when you're a kid, you can be anything you want. Nobody ever tells you how.
No.
Well, I believe that certain group of people know how.
Okay.
That there's groups of people that know how, and I believe there's other ones that are hoping and wishing rather than meditating and praying. And I believe once you start meditating and praying and clearing out all that junk that you've been programmed with and reprogram yourself, uh, at that point, I believe you can create what reality for yourself and your people you choose.
Okay.
I believe it's in your hands, but nothing's easy.
No.
You're gonna have to work your ass off. Period. No ifs, ands, or buts. Like God will give you the opportunities. You can put the opportunities out into the universe. Will put them out for you and give you the opportunities, but you got to know when to take them. And then once you got to be careful what you wish for because you might just get it. You know what I'm saying? Like
Absolutely.
you might just get it. Like I know since we've been doing the wrestling podcast, you are always busy, nonstop, always
24 hours a day,
right.
7 days a week.
And look, I get a lot more rest time than you, but I'm also I take.
You're busy.
Well, I'm busy. I'm always busy. I always got a ton of stuff going on. The kids, the podcasting stuff, us going to shows. There's always a bunch of stuff. The ministry stuff. Always a bunch of stuff going on. My health. Uh, I started doing the gym. I work out try to every day. It don't always happen, but at least a couple of days a week, I get it in. Uh, Eating right. Just there's different things that all of it has to come together. Like it can't. It's not like I see a lot of people at the gym, and they're in great shape, but you can tell that there's something.
They're missing.
They're missing something. They're not happy. They look like they're miserable.
They're jacked.
They're jacked,
but they're not happy.
But they're not happy, and they don't look healthy. Like because you might look big and strong, but you don't look healthy because you're not happy. It's got to be mind, body, and soul. Like you got to get them all three lined. That's the Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit right there. That's the Trinity. You got to line them up.
You know, I'm gonna jump back a little bit. You was talking about your wrestling with God, and I didn't believe it at first. Like whenever you was on, I was incarcerated. You was out and about. And you kept telling me that you got to fight with you. You got to stand up and say, "Hey, this is what I want. This is what I need. How we did it." And I didn't believe you. I didn't believe you. I didn't believe you. And finally, we was doing Bible study, kind of, sort of. Like it was a misfit group of you have one guy that's in there for a DUI and one guy who's in there for armed robbery, and you know, it's not your normal, ordinary. You know, we talked about going to church earlier. You have your 90 whatever percent people. It wasn't that?
No, definitely.
So, and one of them guys looked at me, and he just said, we was reading a book. I forget what the name of it was, but in there it was just like, God don't want you to be timid or a slave, or he don't want you to feel like you're under his thumb. He wants a relationship with you.
Right.
He wants you to be a friend or a best friend or somebody you could confide in, talk to, and build with. And I just maybe it's because you was telling me, which I have a hard time with listening to what you say.
You was in there and you called me and you said, Dad, I'm reading this book.
Mm-hmm.
And you said it's called Two Chairs, and you told me
That was
about the
good.
book.
That was a good
Okay,
book.
so then, 5 years later, they dragged me back here and throw me in the same jail, probably in the same pod you was in.
The same book.
And the same book's there. And it's written by a guy who played basketball.
Yeah.
He was a basketball star. He knew Jordan. He played. And it was a great book. But it's about a relationship with God. And what he's saying is every morning he'd get up and have his coffee and he would sit there and have a conversation with God.
Like me and you are doing right now.
And I started doing it.
Mm-hmm.
And I started doing it in jail. And so everybody's telling me, look, there ain't no way you're getting out. You got a $3 million bond. Your bond is $3 million. You're not going home.
Stuck.
You're stuck. You're screwed. And I keep telling them, like, look, God told me if I come out here and face this, that I'm going home. And not only did he tell me that, he said I'd be home for Thanksgiving.
Sure enough.
And the day before Thanksgiving, I was released. I went to court 4 different times. 4 different times they delayed it. 4 different times I had to walk back in that pod and have all them guys be like, told you wasn't going nowhere. Ha ha. Told you you're stuck with us. Ha ha. Talk all their trash. And every time I just looked at them and was like, look, man, watch. I'll be going home before Thanksgiving. And sure enough, the day before Thanksgiving, I was released.
Something interesting just about that is like I did 11 months.
Mm-hmm.
And every day you hear you're stuck. You're doing this, you're doing that. And like it's public. You can go and see what happened. Whatever. And it was a lot.
Oh, yeah, it was a lot.
It was a whole lot. And
it is a whole lot.
It's
still a whole lot.
But going in, there's people in there that, they got a simple battery charge. Misdemeanor battery charge.
Oh, they're in there bawling, pacing.
Well, they're also like they're also just at this point they're like, I'm going to prison.
Yeah.
And so they look at somebody like me. It was my first time really, and they're like, you're in their words, you're smoked. You're done for.
Yeah,
like you're gonna. I think at one point it was 14 to 38 years was what they told me, and like they're like, there's no way. They're not
38.
38.
I think they told me 42 or something.
14 to 38.
I think I'm 5 to 42 or something crazy.
It was crazy because it's like those couple guys that I ended up doing the Bible study, just that's what we'll call it. They just like, kid, just keep your head up, like, and just believe in what he's telling you or it's telling you, and keep your head down. Don't listen to them. And as soon as the time's right, as soon as he's ready, he'll let you out. No, I mean, all of them were like, you're not doing no time. And you won't go to prison. There's no, and sure enough, I didn't do any prison time.
I was in there and I was in there with a bunch of guys that are Muslim. And the devotion of these Muslim, the faith these guys have, and the prayer.
It's impressive.
It's very, very impressive. So when I was in there and I seen this happening, and I already walk and pray and sit and meditate all the time. I'm constantly doing it. But I noticed how they was doing it on a time, like and I tried it. I got out of jail. I tried it, and it's hard. It's not easy. So much respect to the Muslim faith. I don't know if necessarily, like I said earlier, any of it's right or wrong. I'm not here to judge that. But the devotion they have to God is very impressive.
So something, while we're talking about it, like when you are incarcerated, it's very easy to set a time aside to do that.
Yeah.
And like I realized very quickly.
In the world.
Yeah, I realized very quickly once you get out and life starts happening, finding that time
is harder.
Becomes harder.
But okay. Here's the thing though. God just wants the relationship. So my other relationships have become hard. Like my relationships with people, those are the ones that are hard now. My relationship with God, I'm like, look, man, we'll talk later. Like,
He's
you
like,
know,
got you. Go handle your kid in the podcast
yeah,
because he's being a
I'm
pain in
like,
the ass.
look, dude, like, we talk all day, you know, we're gonna be cool. And God's cool with it. Now, for a long time though, it was like I felt him tugging to have that relationship, like you're talking about. Couldn't make time. And then once it turned out I gave him like almost all my time for a long time.
Yeah.
For a long time, like there was times even my wife and all of us, the kids, would be in the car and we're driving, going on a trip somewhere, and I'd be like, pull over. And I'd get out the car and start walking out in the field somewhere for an hour, praying. And they'd be like, he's on drugs. And yes, I might have been. But I was out there praying. And still to this day, I do it. Like, I'll just take off, you look up, and I'll be gone somewhere, and I'm off in my own world praying. And I just, even at work, like I would be at work. I was working when I first got out of jail. Y'all got me a job at Arby's. I was working just BS Arby's job. But I'd tell them every day, like 3:30, 4 o'clock, I'd be like, look, I'm going outside. They'd be like, why? I'd be like, I got to pray. And they'd be like, you're going to smoke weed. I'd be like, no, look, I'm probably going to smoke some weed while I'm out there, but I'm going to pray. You know what I'm saying? Like, just to be honest with them, it's just something I got to do. Like, I have to do it now. It's not I don't forget. There's no, I need to remember. I'm constantly doing it. And I think once you get that kind of relationship with God, there's nothing that he won't reveal to you. It says, seek and you shall find. Don't stop seeking until you find. And I just believe there's a wealth of knowledge. I don't believe God comes from any book. I believe it's always inside of us. It's always been inside of all of us. Yeshua, Jesus, as they call him, says, if you search for the kingdom, they say the kingdom is in the sky, then the birds will receive you. If they say, but the kingdom is within you, you know what I mean? And what he meant was that divine sparks within all of us. And we're all tied to that consciousness. And he knew it. And I think the church knows it. I just don't think they want everybody else to know it. If you if your God is something outside of you who is there to punish you, you are controlled. If your God is within you and it's something that you can shine outward into the world, you have all the power. And people who control the world don't want that. Why would they want, if we all knew we were kings without crowns, why would there be a king with a crown? You know what I mean? If everybody knew they was a king just without the crown, why would we let that guy have the crown and tell us
one guy with the crown?
With the crown, right? So, and I just think that, and I think maybe God reveals things like that to me, because of the doubts I had. Because okay, just for instance, you got incarcerated, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you got out. You was like, I'm done with all that stuff. I'm tapping out.
Yep.
I'm done. I'm no more criminal activity. And I'm so happy. And
I haven't even stole a pen.
Look, you won't take a piece of gum.
And they're free.
They're free. You won't take one of the lollipops that they hand out in the drive. Okay. Now, me on the other hand, probably over 30 years of banging my head against the wall, doing the same dumb shit.
Yeah.
Okay.
I know at least my 25
stubborn,
years.
Right? But if nothing else, the negative energy that most people would call Lucifer, the devil, or whatever, if nothing else, I spent 30 years working for that. You see what I'm saying? On that team. So when God can take one of those people and turn it into his people, well, shit, now you got like special forces.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You know the enemy's
Well, you
playbook.
got the whole playbook.
You got the whole playbook, know the recipe. And so I believe that's why I'm meant to get on here and have conversations like this. The same way I would have conversations with people. We're out feeding people, and they would, I'd be like, "Do you want us to pray?" And no, God don't have nothing to do with me. God's still with me. And I'd talk to him, and I'd be like, "Look, that's a lie. Like I was at a wretch. I was worthless.
The rockest of bottoms.
The rockest of bottoms. Uh, come from a background of I don't give a f. Just didn't care. I didn't care about nobody's feelings. That was your problem, not mine. That was
Can't see it from my couch.
I can't see. Yeah, I can't see that shit from my couch mentality. Exactly. Like, and that's just who I was. And it took me and humbled. Like God humbled. But I don't like most people say the word Lord even when they pray. I don't use the word Lord. That's slave master, slave owner, the Lord, the King.
He owns you.
I don't talk to God like that. Me and God is like a father to you until you are spiritually grown. And then he's your best friend.
And he's like a peer.
Like our relationship.
Yes.
You know what I mean? It's the same relationship. And so and he'll tell me before something ain't gonna go right. And he'll be like, look, don't act a fool. You know what I mean? Like,
how do you respond whenever he's right?
Well, I can just tell you, like, we had an incident at graduation recently. Okay.
Go ahead. It's funny looking back on it. It was not
okay. So we're going into the graduation, and there's these security guards.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been to concerts. I just went to the Wu-Tang concert, took in all kinds of stuff.
Mm-hmm. Fair enough.
We'll just leave it at that. Nobody patted me down. Nobody searched me. Nothing crazy. I didn't have to go through metal detectors. They waved a little one, told me going through. I go into Six Flags the same way. I go into the federal courthouse. For God's sake, it's not as bad. But these people were really on all the BS. And they're screaming at people. And so I told them to not scream at me. And the lady gets rude with me.
Mm-hmm.
And then I've got money in one pocket and
your wallet
in my back, and they start screaming at me to put my phone in the basket, which I didn't even have. One of the kids had it. So I instantly got rude with the lady.
Yes.
Not knowing her husband was right beside her. And he come over and gets in my face and he pulls me out of line. He's talking crap about I wouldn't do this at the federal courthouse. And I told him no, because those are real cops. They're not wannabe rent-a-cops who couldn't make the force. And I just told him he shouldn't be screaming at grandparents. But I'm not going to argue with you no more. I'm going to keep moving. Mm-hmm. I'm going to go sit down and watch my son graduate. We're done. So I go and I sit down to watch the kid graduate. And about 10, 15 minutes later.
Not even.
Maybe 10, 5.
It was like
7, something.
It was
something in that area. The cop brings some old usher man over, and they remove me from my son's graduation.
Yeah.
And I'm ready to kill him.
Yeah.
And I've done ripped my button-up shirt off, and all that's left is the little cuffs. And
you're ready to fight.
I'm looking like a fool.
Absolutely.
A complete fool.
Mm-hmm. Glad you said it.
And the whole time I'm cursing God. Me and God we're going at it. And he's like, just calm the fuck down.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, no, you calm down.
Who else was telling you to calm down?
Well, you were, but you weren't even out there with me at this point. I was out there by myself.
I know, because I was not going to miss this graduation.
And he's telling me to calm down. And I'm like, no, you calm down. It ain't your son's graduation. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm arguing with you. And then the next thing you know, it all turned out. It worked out. The guy got sent home, I'm pretty sure. We got to go back in. I ended up rocking the wrestling podcast shirt, God's favorite podcast shirt. So it was all good. We had a great evening. But I could have avoided all that if when that dude approached me, I would have just simply not dealt with any of it. I could have just told them, look, get a manager. I'm not going nowhere. I'm not moving. You won't remove me. Go get your boss. And left it at that and not said another word, not to argue with him. He wanted drama. He wanted problems. And I was like, yay, me.
It's like you was excited for it.
And it's been that way my whole life.
Mm.
Because the problems come always. But I've realized the more I can de-escalate the situation, the better things become. The way you speak and your speech patterns have a lot to do with the reaction you're going to get.
Mm-hmm.
So if me and you're into a heated discussion and my speech pattern instantly goes like this, real fast, you're instantly, your number one
Is defense.
is to come back
Yeah.
with the same thing. And it gets louder and louder and louder and louder.
And next thing you know, you come to blows or whatever.
Right. Whatever. That's how everything gets spent. So if you can control that and manipulate that, I know manipulation people think is a bad word, but it's not. There's good manipulation too. You can manipulate that situation
Into a positive.
Into a positive,
yes.
Right? And I believe that's what God wants is everybody to manipulate those situations into positives.
It's still hard to figure out those situations sometimes.
All the time, every time. And there's even times you'll get halfway through them. You get halfway through those situations and be like, "Oh, I should have went left.
Mm-hmm.
I went right. I should have went left." You know what I mean? There's a lot of that, and it don't stop either. The wrestling with God don't stop. I watched this. I forget who it was, but I watched this thing, and the guy's talking about the magic glasses, and he's talking about once the magic glasses are put back or taken off, those magic glasses are taken off, you can't unsee what you've seen.
Yeah.
It never goes back to the way it was. I was oblivious before. I was blind. I didn't care about. I cared about clothes, jewelry, looking good on Facebook, perpetrating. It was all a facade. And once all that's gone, once you break down your ego and you go through, there's 5 steps to it. Like and I can pull them up, but there's 5 steps you seek, you find. Once you find, you're amazed and astonished and kind of frightened. And then after that, you're a master overall. And that is Yeshua Jesus' words. Those are his words. And that's what he was talking about. Once you can control, it's going to go with a verse I'll read here in a minute out of the Gospel of Thomas. I believe out of all the Gospels, you got Mark, Luke, John, Paul. Yeah. So you got the 4 Gospels, right? I don't believe. I don't want to say they're not accurate, but I don't believe they're the most accurate impression of who the person that most people call Jesus really is. Yeshua, Didymus Thomas, has a gospel that was left out of the Bible because it doesn't match the chronological stories. There is no stories in it. You can't read it like a storybook. But it's his sayings.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of the sayings are parables that pops up in the other gospels also. But this gospel is actually believed to be older than any of the other ones. And it's debated, but Didymus Thomas means twin. So it's debated whether or not that was even who they call Jesus, Yeshua's twin. So one of his closest disciples. Or James had a gospel. The gospel of James was left out. Because when the church gathered up all these texts, they made them heretic, heresy. So the Gospel of Thomas, that's how God came to me. It was crazy. I started, I had read the Bible before in jail a couple times. I've been a bunch, so I read it a bunch. And I had highlighted it front to back, read it. I never really got it. I didn't understand it. So when the pandemic was happening and I got back to West Virginia, I started studying and the Gospel of Thomas popped up. I'm like, well, what's this? And, me not believing in the Bible to begin with, it's like, why would they leave this out? You know what I mean? So I started studying, and that's when I got in tune with the Holy Spirit. Uh, and I don't know, just like good and evil are one line, the God frequency and that low vibrational devil frequency is one in the same.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
So
It's the same spectrum. So it's about balance. It's about maintaining balance in whatever it is. Too much love, too much anything is a wise Indian quote. Too much of anything is poison.
yes.
Even too much love. So if you don't love it, you lose it, and too much love, you lose it.
Yes.
So you gotta balance it. And God is that way. If I wanted to do low vibrational evil things, like if I wanted to go out and rob banks, I could use that same spirit to get me safely through bank heist. Low vibrational, eventually everything will go wrong. But if you turn that energy around and raise the vibration of it and do it on a positive level, like going out and helping the community, doing something good with yourself, taking care of your temple, which is your body, uh,
Eventually things will go right.
everything will go right. Not just will everything go right. As he said, you will have control over the all. You got to learn how to master your ego, your pridefulness, your those things. The battle between God and the devil all takes place in here and in here.
Mm-hmm.
It's not an outward thing. There's nobody up in the clouds fighting. Uh, there is a spiritual realm. I do believe in that, but there's no war going. It's as above as without, so within, as above, so below. I'm a firm believer in that. So if your mind's right, your heart's right, everything else in your life will be produced right. It will come out right. Whatever you set your heart to do, you will do it. I'm just a firm believer in that.
You want to bring up those books of Thomas?
Yeah, we can do that. We can do that.
I'm interested
Uh,
in what you got for us.
I don't know. I have to get my glasses on.
So you gotta get the readers out.
Yeah, here we go. Here it is. Here it is.
Oh, you got it ready?
Yeah, I had it ready. I'm prepared.
Okay.
I'm kind of prepared. There's a couple of them in here, but I'll just do one today, and then maybe the next time we'll do another one.
Got you. Go ahead.
Okay, so this is in the Gospel of Thomas, the parable of the lion, saying 7. Contrast two scenarios. One where a human overcomes their instincts, represented by the lion, and another where they are consumed by them. Specifically, it states, "Blessed is the lion that is eaten by a human and will become human. But woe to the human who is eaten by the lion and becomes human still." Okay, and so the lion often symbols primal instincts or base desires. So, like desiring to get high or to gamble or just whatever might be unhealthy would be, you know. And so once you overcome those, you can master your own spiritual growth and your own relationship. I believe it that mastery. And even if you don't master it, eventually you're just gonna be living in poverty. But you're still gonna come back. Like no matter what, everybody's gonna come back. There's one God. We all go to it. I just think some of us might be on a different level. I think some of us will have to learn the lessons we didn't learn on this stage.
Okay. What's it been like for you to overcome those negative desires?
I don't always. I'm gonna be honest.
Okay.
You know what I mean? I'm gonna keep it 110. Not always do I. I quit smoking cigarettes. I'm struggling right now with I smoke black amounts. I'm struggling with that. So there's things I struggle with on a daily. My biggest struggles though hasn't been with addiction or anything like that. It's with the negative voices, the negative talk, the self doubt, and that's blasphemy of the Holy Spirit because the Holy Spirit dwells within me.
Yeah. So
And
if you
that's
don't
the
believe
one
in yourself,
unforgivable sin, they say. You see what I'm saying? So everybody thinks when they say blasphemy, they mean blasphemy of God. That's not what they're talking about. They're talking about blasphemy of the Holy Spirit, which dwells within inside of you. So that's like negative talk on yourself. That I ain't shit. I ain't worth nothing. I can't
hate
do this. I
myself.
hate myself. I'm dumb. I'm stupid. All that is blasphemy of the Holy Spirit. And I do not do it no matter what. I've it's taken me a long, long time.
Is that how you've been able to build that confidence we was talking about earlier?
Yes. Yeah, definitely. I didn't build nothing. God built it.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
You got any advice for that?
Really, there's no advice that you can give.
Okay.
Because it's something that every individual has to go through on their own to thy own self be true. Because I don't know what your belief system is. I don't know what you hold true into your heart. That's why people who hold true religious dogma in their heart, if they believe that, they hold it true, that's what you're going to be held accountable with when it's time to meet your maker.
Okay.
You're going to be held to those standards.
So what you're saying is what you believe the standards are. If you don't uphold those standards when you go to meet your maker,
it's not your time yet. Go back.
Go figure it out.
Go figure it out.
But now
I know for a fact because that's what happened to me.
So let's see you make those standards.
Right.
Is that whenever you
right.
get the
well, I believe that's why the religious dogma
okay.
has been put there. They're impossible standards.
No, they are.
They're absolutely impossible standards. So you know what's happening? All them people are coming back.
Okay.
And so you got to break that. Somebody's got to break it for generations. You know what I mean? I believe in a generational curse. Or I don't want to say curses, but like a generational habit or negative
energy, feedback,
whatever you want to call it, that you got to step up and break. You know, I come from a long family of alcoholics.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not an alcoholic.
No.
I drank a lot, always have. I don't.
You're pretty good at it.
Pretty good at it. I could have been one, but I'm not. The same way with like, if you know, it's like a sexual abuse victim. A lot of times, if a child has been hurt or abused as a child, they go out and they later abuse others.
Mm-hmm.
It's one of those. You gotta realize those and get rid of them. A lot of times, another thing that Yeshua said in the book was that if you want to go to the Father, you got to despise your mother and father. Okay? I'm not for sure exactly what's saying. I'll figure it out. We'll talk about it later. But what he's getting at there is your mother and father might have taught you a bunch of stuff that was programmed into them.
And you got to break those
that they don't even, they didn't know was wrong.
Know if it's true,
you can't be
right.
mad at them. You're supposed to pray for them. Can't be mad at them. But they put those generational traumas on you. Mm-hmm. And you got to
move past.
You got to move past them and break them. You can't lay around feeling sorry for yourself all the time. Or
with that said, I think that was a lot of the things that I struggle with was just seeing what you've been through, seeing what my mom been through. And then I think the biggest part of me learning from it was to learn to forgive and to move on from those traumas and those things that happened and say, okay, they happened, but let's do better. Let's change ourselves to move past those things. Because if I do the exact same thing you did or she did, my kids are going to deal with the exact same thing, or my siblings are going to deal with the exact same thing. So if I go and I do something differently.
I was working in Texas. I was doing lineman work down there. Mm-hmm. And we were doing coke every night, and drinking and partying. And somebody, I had money sent to me. So I was going to get the money, but the guys that worked, we didn't have a vehicle. We was driving company trucks. So I ended up walking. Mm-hmm. And I'm about half lit walking to get this money so I can get more lit, right?
Okay.
And it was like I got this tap on my shoulder, like this cold, and I got cold chills. And I just heard my dad tell me, "You don't have to do what I did." Like I heard his voice, and it was like, "You don't have to do what I did." Uh, I could. I don't think God would mind even, because God knows what everybody's going through. Like, uh, He knew before it happened. You know what I mean? He knew I'd be the one to break that before I did. I believe there is a path we're all going to go on, no matter what. Now you can detour, you can free wheels crazy, you can detour, you can go here, you can go there, you can go here, but eventually you're going to circle back around to where you were supposed to be. And I just believe that that was his way of telling me, like, look, you don't have to go through the bullshit that we went through or we put you through unknowingly. Because you got to think about it. If hey, Yeshua says heaven's all around us. Okay, so if your loved ones are all around you and they're witnessing, and they know that this is the trauma they put on you, how can they rest in peace? How can they rest easy? So at that point, you're not just healing for yourself or for your children. You're healing for your parents and their parents and their parents and people you didn't even know. Uh, and that's just the way I look at it. Like I'm going to do it because I have to, not because I want to, but I have to.
It's necessary.
It's a must. It's an absolute must. And anybody that there's a lot of people out there that know and choose to stay. Like the blinders kind of come off, the magic glasses kind of come off, and they're like, "Nope, we're not taking them off." Like they know, they can feel it. And my advice to people is, if you feel that feeling, if you feel like something ain't right in the world, like it's just a little too coincidental or
Too good to be true.
whatever it may be. If you feel like you're in the matrix, chances are it's because you're meant to be doing something else. You're meant to be doing something different. There's something wrong in your life. You had given us a car, and it broke down. I'm outside working on it, and we're in Huntington. And my neighbor, the one that did the Bible study, she's like, "Oh, your car's broke down, is it?" I'm like, "Yeah." She's like, "You're doing something wrong. You're not doing something God wants you to do." And at the time, it freaking infuriated me. Like I slammed the hood. Who's this to be telling me what God you know?
Yeah.
Like bad, like angry, really angry. But after I sat back and I thought about it, a couple years later, she was right.
She was wrong.
She wasn't wrong. The
She
way
was
her
telling you
delivery was
was-
way off. Okay, she should have known her audience and had some tact and known whom she was dealing with. But what she was telling me was exactly right. Because even I'm married and we're not together. She lives somewhere else with has another man. I got the kids, take care of the kids, love the kids with all my heart. And I love her. I wish her the best.
Mm-hmm.
But I was trying to do all this stuff, and you was trying to do the podcast, and everything was trying to go together. We was trying to put it all together, make everything work. Isaac had moved up here. We was just trying to get everything together. And because she was still going behind everybody's back
and doing something she
shouldn't have, none of that stuff would work out.
Yeah.
And God kept telling me, like God was telling me, I'm praying about it. I'm asking to help me. I'm praying about it. He's like, look, you're going to have to
cut ties.
And it was the hardest thing I've ever done in my life. Broke my heart. Absolutely crushed me. But the second that those ties were cut and I did the right thing, and I didn't cut ties. It wasn't like I kicked her out and told her she couldn't come back. I said, no, look, you go get the help you need.
And then come back.
And then come back. And that never happened. Okay. But the second she went to go to the help place to get the help, everything started going right. And then even when she ran off with the dude, everything kept going right for me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, so if you're doing something, if the universe is trying to pull you to your destiny, and you're doing something that is pulling you away from that, then it's going to course correct.
Yeah.
Like there's no ifs, ands, or buts. So if you're in a toxic relationship with somebody and you won't get out of it, one way or another, that shit's going to end. No ifs, ands, or buts. If you love something, you'll keep it. If it's causing you so much heartache and grief, it's going to go.
Yeah. Agree. I think that's a good way to end it all,
Yeah,
Dan.
me too.
You got any final words?
As always, all praise to God. We'll. I don't know how often we're going to do these. Might try to get out one or two a month to start out, something
See what
like that.
happens.
And then if it picks up steam, maybe we'll get a channel up for it.
Yeah.
You never know. We thank everybody though for joining us. We hope that it helps somebody. I hope my God put it on my heart to tell people my crazy story. We might get on here sometimes, and people don't even know. We might tell stories about drug and gun running. I'm just gonna be
Things can
honest.
get interesting.
I'm just gonna
We
be
got
honest.
some stories.
I got some stories. There's gonna be stories of helping people and good stuff, and there's gonna be good and bad.
Good,
Because
bad, and ugly.
all of it. And we don't care what we're gonna talk about because we're not scared to talk about nothing.